Hey, what's lasting, everybody? Chris back with CAC Knives here for a Christmas do and don't buy video or buyer's guide video for Christmas in 2025. Now, I did one of these a while ago. I think it was for last year's Christmas. And there's been other things that I've gained, other things that I'd recommend since then that I wanted to share. And what we have on the table here actually is, I figured it'd be easier to start with the lookout or do not buy category. That you see this everywhere. Knives for around or under $20. Avoid this. This is the look you avoid. Okay? These are great examples of knives not to buy. All right? Generally, they have some cool lookings on the blade or the handles or something. These are just stamped on here. Okay, this is stamped aluminum. This is just cheap nonsense. Won't last them a while. They generally have a clip like this on them. This really, it pretty much looks exactly like this all the time, and it'll usually say something like this: USA designed, handcrafted in China. And they're generally very heavy. They're very cheap. And if we look at this one right here, what do you know? Not the exact kind of clip. Very similar in design, though. And I bet this one says a similar thing on the blade. Let's look. MC Collection. Oh, yep. There we go. USA designed, handcrafted in China. Yeah. These knives here. Wow, this one actually has the designer on it, which is actually kind of surprising. That kind of shocked me there for a minute. But these kind of knives here are not good, okay? These are very cheaply made, mass-produced, just for suckers to buy. These kind of things, every now and then you'll see some good of these, and some people hand make these themselves, but there's certain ways to tell. Like on this one, for example, look at the bad job with the screws on there. This one, I'm not even going to open it because it's so hard to close, but this is kind of that really cheap Pakistan Damascus, and they can make good Damascus in Pakistan, but this crap here is just made out of whatever metal they can find pretty much. And if you see things like this on Amazon or eBay or other places, just avoid it, okay? Avoid all these kinds of things. I know they're cheap, but I have some cheap alternatives here that are all under 30 bucks that if that's what your budget is to buy for somebody, get them these items instead. They will absolutely love them, and they're actually worth their cost. First company I recommend is the Jin company, J-I-N. You will find them on Amazon. They're actually knife build kits, and these things are awesome. I got one last year for Christmas from my stepfather and my mother, and I'm going to tell you right now, I had so much fun building this. I actually want to buy this exact knife again because I had so much fun. This is a great knife for $30. One of the ways they save on price is because they just manufacture the parts. They don't build it, so that saves them a step at the factory. But look how nice this knife is. For 30 bucks, you get a full G10 all around, nice G10 backspacer. There are different designs. You don't have to get USA. There's different knives, different designs. Some of them have Damascus on the blades. They're different blade shapes. There's a bunch of different options. They're all around 30 bucks. And what it is it comes with instructions and it comes apart. And the person you got it for, they built it themselves. It took me about 5 minutes, but I am a pretty big knife person. I've disassembled and assembled probably 50 to 100 knives at least in my knife owning career, so I'm pretty good at it. I highly recommend this brand though. This thing is awesome. Very smooth. It's in D2 blade steel. Definitely worth $30, even just for the experience that I had getting it opened all apart, building it myself. It was super fun. I also recommend this here. This is an O-Knife utility blade. These are also on Amazon for around $30. Has some nice carbon fiber. There's a few different models of this you can get as well. And it's just a simple little utility knife, but as you can see, most of the blade is showing, and it's real easy. You just screw that back on to change the blade out. This knife will last them forever, and it's actually worth the cost of $30. So yeah, highly recommend that one as well. if you want to get them more of an aggressive style knife, they do have kind of these Ethan Grow knives and other brands that are similar to this. They're good knives. I'm not going to dog them because this knife here actually is pretty good, I will say, for the price of about 25 bucks. But a lot of them can be kind of clone-ish and copy. So unless you think they really like a knife like in these kind of brands, I recommend these two instead. But you can get these. These are still nice. Will still last them a while. They'll still love it, I'm sure. And I definitely recommend this with, you know, with a lot better action, actual D2 steel and everything over this, which is just some crap budget steel. What do we got? 440A, which is absolutely terrible. Aluminum handles instead of G10. Much heavier for the size. This knife is bigger and it weighs less than this one does. So if that doesn't tell you which knife to buy, I don't know what does. You know, I don't know what will. Not to mention this is on bearings. This is assisted, which Kershaw's assistance is very good, but those cheap brands assisted knives break quite often. I have had one break on me, so yeah, just avoid those. Get these instead. All of these are $30 or less on Amazon. It's Black Friday sales coming up. They may even be cheaper than that. So if your budget is $30 or less for somebody, these are what I definitely recommend. In the traditional sense, if you want to get them a traditional knife, there are a bunch of options out there. I recommend Marble or Rough Rider. Very good knives for $20 or less. This one is actually in stock still on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. My grandparents got me this a few years ago. This is kind of just an example of how nice a Rough Rider can be. Got mother of pearl mixed in with the resin. This was actually a Christmas themed one in 2020. Wow, never mind. My grandparents got that for me 5 years ago. I didn't even realize it's been in my collection that long. But yeah, these knives, the Rough Rider knives are sweet. There is a crap ton of them out there on eBay and on Smoky Mountain Knife Works website. They're pretty much all under 20 bucks. They got some folders that are pretty nice too, and they're highly recommendable. Now, if we're moving up into the next price range, you're getting into a point where there are so many options out there that it's hard to be like, yes, buy this. But, you know, when we're saying like $40 to $80 maybe, Civivi's brand comes into play, QSP, you know, pretty much half the knife companies out there come into play, maybe even more than that at this price range. And there is a lot you can choose from. I recommend you find a knife that you think the person you're buying for will like, you know, that's above $30, and you type that exact knife and model it on YouTube. Maybe watch 1 or 2 YouTuber reviews on the knives and then decide for yourself if you think it's a good knife or not. These are 3 awesome examples I have here on the table. This is the QSP Penguin, the Civivi Elementum. These 2 are 2 of the most popular, most recommended knives among knife enthusiasts out there. And there are so many different combinations of them at this point at different price ranges that honestly, there's probably 100 of each, if not more than that. 100 different configurations of each out there. This is the Mini Praxis. This is kind of a nicer knife for a very budget-ish price of about 85 bucks. You can still find this on some websites. Caviso, I know, had these in stock as of 2 days ago. This is fat carbon as a handle and titanium as a pocket clip. And, you know, if you're not a knife person and you're watching this video, those are very good materials. Not to mention, this blade steel is S35VN, which is kind of higher end for 85 bucks. So yeah, this knife is probably one of, if not the best value knife ever built. That is my opinion, but I would like somebody to find me a better valued knife overall than this one. Very great knife, but if, you know, and it's blue, so if they like blue, that even further enhances it, right? Now, in the traditional sense, when we move up, I do not own any GEC knives, but that is a company you can look for. They're very hard to get though, and on the secondary they sell for a lot. So I have two knives here that are, excuse me, above the $30 range. That's in my kind of traditional knife collection. Now Case is an interesting brand because Case is kind of hit or miss. Do their knives look great still? Yes, they do, and they're highly collectible. I like the brand. I like that they're made in America. The problem I have with Case knives is their quality has kind of diminished over the years. And this knife that I got for Christmas from a friend one year is actually a perfect example of the quality diminishing. When I got the knife, it had the burrs in it. And you can kind of see them. See how the light hits that a little weird? See the weird shines, how they go away in certain spots right there? The knife came that way with those like burrs on it. And yeah, so that's not good quality from Case. This is another company that I found that I do highly recommend. These are made in Germany, and my gosh, I can't remember the name right off my head. It is, yes, here's the box right here. Let's see, the Karl Schulper Genuine Eye brand. Yeah, I can't pronounce that because it's German, but that's what these are. And like I said, made in Germany. Very nice knives. Love them to death. This knife is so cool. They have a lot of different makes and models. You don't have to choose kind of this crystal color combination or Christmas color combination with the kind of glitter. But these knives run around 40 to 50 bucks. There are also some, this gentleman named Michael Prater, he kind of makes a lot of custom knives using some cheaper traditionals and makes them look very, very, very nice. And if you just type in Michael Prater traditional knives in a Google search, you can find a lot of them on different websites, and there's a lot of them on eBay, and they look super nice. So maybe find a knife in that color combination if the person you're buying for likes traditionals that are a little bit more expensive. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was if you want to get them something custom. Now, there's a bunch of ways you can do this. A lot of people like to customize by engraving the blade, and that's fine. You know, write their name on there or something. The problem is, unless you're buying from a, good website that will do that, a lot of times those knives are done on cheap knives. Now, in some cases, they're done on, like, if you can find a seller doing them on QSP Penguin, Spyderco's, Civivi, some of the most popular things out there, then that knife will still be good. Go ahead, get their name engraved on there. But if they're doing certain kinds of custom work, if you want to get them something that's really unique for somebody that especially likes knives, why not get something that's fully one of custom anodized like this? This is a Tucson that a gentleman named Colin, he has a Facebook group called Colin's Crazy Creations. And he didn't pay any money for me to advertise or anything. This is just a personal recommendation I have. He's very good at customizing titanium. And if you get a hold of him soon enough, hopefully within the next few weeks, he should be able to get your knife done and shipped to you by Christmas, hopefully. And you can choose some color combinations and choose different kinds of titanium finishes you want. He even has some knives in stock usually, so you don't even have to buy a knife and ship it to him. This one I bought directly from him and had all this work done for $200 on the dot. So it's not cheap to get knives customized like this, I will say that. But to be fair, this knife itself already costs, what, around $100 probably, at least. Titanium isn't a cheap material. There are some very cheap titanium knives out there now for around $40, but pretty hard to find good titanium knives for, under about 80. So, yeah, that's my recommendation list. I hope I helped you guys a little bit with your Christmas shopping needs for, people in your life that need a knife or like knives. I'm not a huge fixed blade person, so if that's what they're looking for, This probably isn't the best recommendation video for that. I do have a few, but I'm not well known enough in the fixed blade world to be able to recommend certain things, but in the folding knife world, I'm pretty knowledgeable on the subjects, so I kind of know what to look out for. And hopefully this helps you guys find a good Christmas gift that a significant other in your life will enjoy for the rest of their life, because that's kind of another reason why I made this video. But yeah, that'll do it for today, guys. It would help my channel out a lot if you'd like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, maybe with other things that I missed that you'd recommend. And have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.